Nick,
Phil, welcome back.
what's going on, man?
Wow, there's something different about you today.
Yeah, it's my tan.
Is it your ears?
They're lowered. Look at
You
that.
got your ears lowered?
I did.
Look at that. What is that? Nightlight?
Somebody sent me a nightlight. I don't have it plugged in. It's a nightlight. I'm gonna take this on the road with me and plug it in the hotel room at night so I can have a nightlight.
It's kind of like like a security blanket, so it makes you feel right at home. Or you can take that when you have to go do your podcast on the road. It'll be like a mini.
Oh, that's a good idea. Yeah, good idea. We'll have that behind me.
What else did you get?
I got, it's pretty cool. Keychain. I want you to hear this.
Perfect. I love it. Great.
Whoever sent it, very kind. What?
And I also got to thank whoever sent the pizza to Brunswick last week.
I think you didn't know about it.
I don't know who it's from, but I got an email during the show last week, and apparently someone sent Aloha barbecue pizza with a fudge brownie. People are emailing me, hey, did you get a pizza? There's a pizza for you. I was like, what do you mean there's a pizza for me? I didn't order a pizza.
You know, it's disgraceful that you would send a pizza with pineapple on it.
What's wrong with pineapple on a pizza?
Oh my God, are you kidding me?
It's kind of like
that's worse than Olive Garden.
It's kind of like putting your tongue on a 9-volt battery. Everybody says, no, don't do it. But guess what? You're going to put your tongue on a 9-volt battery.
I would never do that. But pizza with pineapple on it, really?
Oh,
so a buddy of mine posted a picture. It had little workers on top of a pizza, and it was pineapple on it. Mm-hmm. One guy had a shovel, the other guy had a broom, and it said Italian men doing maintenance on the pizza. They were taking the pineapple off of it.
Was pizza even invented in Italy?
Pizza, you know what? A margarita pizza was invented in Italy in honor, in honor of the Queen Margherita. Christopher Columbus got it for her. Mm-hmm. And the pizza was made of red, the sauce, basil, and mozzarella.
Mortadella.
Not mortadella. Mortadella is a bologna with cheese in it, but mozzarella, and that's the three colors: the red, white, and green, the color of the flag. It's called the margarita pizza, by the way. You know, I give you free knowledge, and
yeah, you know where that went? Here, out here.
It went in, picked up speed, and came out the other side.
Well, yeah, it's like a vortex in here. You know, it reached critical mass, which you invented.
I did invent that,
and then exited it, no doubt.
Unbelievable. If you store a tenth of the knowledge I give you, you'd be like, "Who wants to be a millionaire?" guy.
I think you're just angry because the next time you show up here in Muskegon, you're gonna have to take me to Olive Garden because you lost a bet.
I did lose the bet, and I refused to put it on my credit card because I don't want people to know I went there.
Believe me, I'm gonna check us in on Facebook. People are gonna know you went there.
No.
Yes, sir.
That's not part of the bet.
Hey, this is all collateral damage. Yeah, you got to take it to Olive Garden. You got to pay cash. You can't expense it, and you can't complain.
I don't expense that stuff. But anyway,
you can't complain.
No. I told you, it's 2 out of 3 ain't bad. It's a meatloaf. I can complain. I can just not. I have to do the other 2 things, but I can complain. 2 out of 3 ain't bad.
Yep.
Anyway, what do we got on tap for today?
Well, let's get the housekeeping out of the way.
Oh, yeah, we're going to do a practice spin on that. You're going to do the Woo box, too, in a little while.
I'm going to copy the link here. I'm going to do it right now. That way we have it.
How are you doing it right now if you have both hands one's holding your head up, the other's holding the wheel?
I got one more hand right here. See? My computer is right. Hold on. Right about here. Yep, down there.
So you put the Woo box. So the Woo box, here's how it works. For those of you that are new, he puts a Woo box up. You put your name in it. If you're a staff member, you know the rules. Do not do that. Wait.
Get closer.
Don't do it.
We'll come find you at your house.
And then he'll pick a name at the end of the show. And when pick your name, you got 90 seconds to let us know you're in the show. At the end of 90, if you're in the show and we spin the wheel and you get, I don't know, a pair of shoes.
And I don't know if we can use that one.
Why? Oh,
I don't know if we can use that one anymore because last week he won a pair of shoes and he said, "I'm good."
I'm good. Yeah. So, or you win a ball, and you say, "Nah, I got enough bowling balls." Spin again, and
I
and you,
want
you can win you want a grip sack.
right here,
So
right
we'll
there.
give you 2 spins if your name and you don't like the first one, and then of course what we started a couple of weeks ago, if you get
Months ago.
grip sack, yeah.
Grip
If you
sack.
get
Yeah.
grip sack and it comes up again, grip sack, we'll give you another spin. If it comes up the third time, you own grip sacks.
You're getting a grip sack. You're gonna like it.
Right, whether you like it or not, you're getting it.
Other news. Before we do the spin,
Yeah.
our guy Dave from here in the office, he's just had his first child, a
Ah,
boy.
oh boy.
Congratulations, Dave. He's waving hi to us.
Name,
Henrik, big
Hendrick.
baby, almost 10 pounds.
Wow, it's a big kid.
That's a gigantic kid.
Wow, future
gave-
radical guy.
I know. It's like his wife gave birth to Hodor.
I don't even know who that is, but okay.
All right, practice spin. Here we go.
All
I'm
right,
hoping it
practice
lands
spin.
on a.
I'm going to take chamois.
I'm taking. I'm going new ball.
Oh, wait, I'm changing. I'm taking ball cup.
Ball cup.
Yeah. Taking ball cup.
Oh, chamois! You got rid of chamois, and it lands on chamois. You
no, I didn't.
putz. You're a
I picked
putz.
chamois. I picked chamois.
You are the mush.
Picked chamois.
All right.
Oh,
Everybody's
man.
got the link for their chance to win a grip
Yes.
sack.
Get in there. And then we have Steve Freshour on today, and Steve's got some stuff, cool stuff about access migration.
Yes. And why
That's good,
balls
yeah.
flare differently.
Yeah, so that'll be interesting for Steve to come out and talk to us a little bit. And then we'll get into some stuff. Talk about a little bit about the balls we just launched. And then we'll talk about some news, bowling news.
We ready for some news now?
I think so. Let's do some bowling news. I thought you were going to get a ticker for that. Wow.
Striking news update.
I guess I have to get $6 and spend it on
You know what?
news.
The next show, I will make sure I have a sound bite, okay?
Yeah, that's what you said last time. Okay.
I'm going to get a sound bite.
So let's talk about some of the news. I saw bowl.com posted, USBC post on bowl.com. Greenville, South Carolina in 2028 is when Nationals are going to be.
Mm-hmm.
They've never been.
And you're making that prediction, right? Are you
I'm going to make my prediction. I'm making a prediction. That's the first time you will see string pin. I invented that prediction.
We're calling it here.
I'm telling you, it's a perfect time. All the stars will be aligned. It's a build out. It's a build out. Yeah, it's a build out. There'll be a couple of years under our belt. And, it's it was a good bid. And next thing you know, string pin. And then all the people that have said, I'm never going to bowl if it's string pin. We'll see if they're there.
Yeah, we'll see if they're there.
Yeah,
same people that said they're going to leave the country if a certain person gets elected.
When is she going to leave, Whoopi? Whoopi said that. Whoopi over. I'm going to move with it. Oh, and those are the same people. The same people that said, "I'll never bowl on synthetic lanes. It's no good for the game."
Everything's ruining bowling. Reactive resin.
Ruining bowling.
Yeah. It's a cheater ball.
We had plastic ball. We had rubber balls, plastic balls. Those color balls, who wants them? They're no good for the game. Balls with color. I like a black bowling ball.
How did it take over 40 years for them to determine that urethane balls were cheater balls? It took them 40 years to be like, you know what?
Took a rap.
These balls are cheaters.
They are. Unbelievable. Meanwhile, when reactive resin came out, that's going to ruin the game.
It did. Totally did.
It did. No one's bowling anymore.
Nope.
High scores are going to ruin the game. You know what's amazing? I tell you, not to get off that topic, but high scores are going to ruin the game. The people that broke the record, the Budweiser team,
1950 something or whatever year it was.
You think they bowled on a flat pattern?
No.
The lacquer lanes used to have like a little groove on it, and what you do is set the ball down in the groove and went to the pocket.
Yeah.
It was like a mini wall. It took a long time to build it up, but once it was in there, You know, and then when they resurfaced the lanes, that would go away and it would wear back in again with lacquer or shellac.
Shellac.
So
I like that word.
it's a
by
good
the way.
word. Shellac. It got shellacked.
Multiple meanings on that. Oh yeah. You know, the Yankees got shellacked. They've been getting
They got
shellacked.
They've been getting shellacked lately. So,
Man.
and then another interesting piece of news: Sydney Bone made Team USA. Parker
Nice.
Bone's daughter.
Congratulations. Yeah, 2025 Junior Team USA.
Yeah, didn't the other two boys be on that team? Weren't they on the team before?
They were.
Yeah.
They both won junior gold, I believe. Both of them did.
Yep, they
I know
both
Brandon's won a couple times. Yep.
He has. Yep, he has.
And,
So who went to Weber State? Which one is that? They just won
Weber?
the national title. Yeah, didn't they just win the title?
You tell me. This is your news update.
I think they did. I think
Brandon went to Weber.
Yeah, it was him.
So I think Justin's going to SCAD right now.
Where?
SCAD.
That's the name of a college?
It's the acronym for, yeah.
For what?
I don't know what it stands for. SCAD, Georgia.
You just said that. You just made that up? Okay.
Or maybe it's South Carolina Art. I don't know.
Is that the Flaming Pickles or something?
It's SCAD. I've only ever referred to them as SCAD College.
All right. I'm just saying. I wonder what their mascot is. Look it up. SCAD. You can't even look up the college. You don't know the name of it.
South Carolina Art and Design. It's Savannah College Art and Design. Thank you, people.
That's where they went? Is that where he went?
Savannah, Georgia. Yeah. I knew it was in Georgia and it was called SCAD. You asked me what it stands for.
Isn't that the Flaming Pickles or whatever their mascot is? No, that was somebody else that had that one.
At least it's not like the movie Accepted, where there's a South Harmon Institute of Technology.
That was pretty good.
Did you see that movie?
Louis Black.
Yeah, you saw that movie. Yeah, the dean.
Yeah, absolutely.
He's so funny.
Yeah.
Buyers and sellers. Buyers and sellers.
Anyway, that's the news for today. I have no more news.
That's it?
That's it. Hey, we need to talk a little bit while we're on the topic of news. What do we do about next week?
That's a good question because you leave on Wednesday, right?
And I'm gone for 2 weeks. Yeah. So,
hey, all I got to say is don't forget to write.
If we do the show on Tuesday for the next 2 weeks,
is there going to be an uproar?
And I can do it. I can do it from. We can do it here on next Tuesday, and then the following Tuesday I'll do it at my brother's house. I'm going to visit him on the island before I go in between trade shows, so I could do it there.
So what is the chat thing? Should we do it on Tuesday and bring back old Phil here, or should I find a new co-host and do it on Wednesdays so we can maintain our globally syndicated ratings?
It's not a choice. We're rated in the top 5 in Russia, by the way, of podcasts.
I gotta imagine.
Yep. So we need to figure that out before the show's over. We know what to tell the folks, what we're gonna do. It's not like we move it all over the board, but it's just that this time of the year is trade show time.
I think you need to be more responsible in the fact that you are now a podcast superstar, and that people need to work around your schedule.
So I should have the entire industry's trade show schedule changed so that nothing happens where I need to be out on a Wednesday.
Seems reasonable to me, Phil.
No, I think we do if it's acceptable to our audience, and we're all about our audience, that we do it on Tuesday for the next 2 weeks. So it's up to you.
We'll ask and we'll ask again. Okay. Oh, that's true. I could bring in YouTubers and replace you in an instant. No problem.
Or I can do it on Tuesday and replace you on Tuesday.
Who's going to run the stream? Nobody. Me.
I'm sure somebody up there can do it.
Okay. Good luck.
I'm sure I could find someone.
Good luck.
Anyway, and then today's guest is Steve Freshour.
Yeah, he's waiting in the wings.
And we'll bring him out in a second. I want you to talk about 2 new balls that are coming out for us: the Hitter Pearl and the Rattler Big Bite. The Hitter Pearl is obviously a pearl version of the Hitter. Really cool looking colors, and uses the HK22 utility pearl. If you remember, the utility cover stock was on the Hitter. That ball's still doing well. And the Hitter Pearl is a little longer, a little sharper. I think you worked on the videos on those.
I did.
You did.
I'm a jack of all trades. I do everything.
and a master of none.
And whoever did whoever did the
Whoever
videos
did
on
those
Throwback.
videos did a good job. Whoever did the videos on Throwbot did a good job.
Yeah, those videos will be out next week.
And then the Rattler Big Bite. It was interesting how that ball fits in the line. You know, a lot of people liked the Rattler. Some people said it really wasn't strong enough. So we went the other way first. We came out with the Rattler Pearl Deadly Rattler. And now the Big Bite is a hybrid. It's a little bit stronger version of the original Rattler. And it's at a nice, modest price point. So it's still got 248.035, which is a medium differential, maybe a lower differential. Medium to low RG. It's a really good benchmark symmetrical ball. And it's got a strong enough cover that's tunable. You know, the sharp cover stock was what we used on the Incognitos. And again, everybody looks at HK22. These were iterations that led up to the HK22. So somewhere along the line between not having it and having it, there were like 15 or 16 different iterations. And all of them found a place,
And now once you make the decision to put HK22 on a ball or not, you've made the wrong decision. Because it's either we use it too much or why didn't you use it on this ball?
Exactly.
Sorry.
I know. So now we got an option that's not HK22 as we know it, but it's an earlier version of it. And
hey,
those balls
I got a question for you.
Go ahead. What's the question?
Every release, are you just going to release a new Rattler now? Is that what you're going to do?
Yeah, why not? We wouldn't be the first. Wait, we wouldn't be the first company to ever do that. By the way,
I just figured you're just like, put another Rattler in there, another Rattler. We just came out with a Rattler. We're gonna come out with another Rattler.
The only reason, number one, is that core is really, really, really a good core, and it's one of those cores where you can put a lot of different cover stocks on it, and it rolls good. First part. Second part, when we came out with the Rattler NU, the not urethane Rattler, it was sort of played off of the original blue NU, the hammer. It put a little more differential in it and gave it a little more
by a lot.
Yeah.
I did a video on those two.
How long ago?
I posted it on Sunday.
And what, you want to give us a hint on what you found out?
I compared the Rattler New to the new blue hammer heads up against each other with Specto running, of course. And
isn't that the internet company that had trouble? Spectrum? Oh, Specto. I'm sorry.
That's on your end, where you couldn't even keep a connection a couple weeks ago.
I think we're okay now.
But what I saw was new blue hammer goes down a little longer, a little bit more continuation. And the Rattler New digs in a little earlier and is a little smoother on the back.
There we go.
But for a full video, you can go check it out on YouTube. New versus new.
Then, and the purpose of the NU, the new Rattler, was to be a bridge between urethane and resin. So if you're in your urethane ball and you want to get out of it, but resin's too much, that was sort of the perfect step up from urethane.
And it fits right there.
And it fits right there. Identical. Anyway, you want to bring in Stevie Fresh?
Are we ready? I'm going to post the Woo Box link one more time.
Yeah, you know all about that. Put your name in the box. You get picked at the end. If you're still here, you get an alternate spin if you want it.
So if you want your chance to win a grip sack, get on in, click the link.
I'm telling you, grip sacks are we're almost back ordered on grip sacks. They become so popular
because of us. We brought awareness to the fact that people said, "Hey, you know what? My hand gets a little sweaty sometimes. I don't have a grip sack. I'm going to try to win one, but if I don't, I'm going to go buy one."
Well, I get questions like that all the time. They send me emails. My hand gets sweaty. What should I do? And I just write one. I write grip sack, and that's all. I don't even answer. I'd say grip sack.
Just send them a video. Just go like this. There you go.
Grip sack.
There you go. Done. That'll be $18. Just go ahead and send us $18.
We went to I guess it was Candlepin or Duckpin Bowling Center, and we were doing our sales meeting in Indianapolis, and they had little cups on the top, like it might have been like a bronze or a copper cup on the top of the return, and that's where they put chalk. So how did people survive? Now, it's amazing where we've become. Okay, towels first used to hang on the ball return in the old days, and there was like it's not chalk. It was like sort of chalk, but it wasn't slippery.
Like hand
powder.
conditioner. Oh
Yeah,
yeah,
like but a block. It was like a block.
yeah, like pool halls used to have, like the
Yeah,
big
yeah.
cone.
Yeah, it was like that, right? In there. That's where it started, right? Then it went to, now we're gonna put these little fans. You can hold your hand over the fan.
Mhm.
Now people walk in with these industrial vented monster size fans.
Yeah, with the battery powers. Yeah,
Yeah, with the big, looks like a
Makita.
Makita,
Yeah,
right?
DeWalt.
Exactly. Thing on the
Because it gets
bottom.
hot. It gets hot and humid in some bowling centers. People sweat like crazy.
Did it never do that before?
Well, maybe they did, but they don't like to be sweaty.
I know what it is. It's global warming.
Is
That's
that
why
what
you
it
gotta have
is?
those fans. Yeah, it's got to be. We're not talking politics. We're not allowed. But anyway, it's amazing that we've come from towel with a piece of chalk to a hand blower to people bringing little fans in. They were like this big when they first came.
You know,
Now
once
they
upon a
walk
time,
in with these. They're like this. You got to carry them in with a handle. You know.
once upon a time, people had to drink water at room temperature. Now, like with the refrigeration and ice, now you can
Yeah, I
have cold
understand.
water.
But you watch a guy come into league. He's got 2 triple bags and an industrial fan.
Yeah, I mean,
And a
how did
backpack.
you?
And a backpack.
I mean, how did you feel when the ballpoint pen was invented? He no longer had to use a quill.
Isn't that incredible? I used to use fountain pens when I was a kid in school.
I bet.
Yeah,
I
then
mean,
the
well,
ballpoint
do you
pen
remember?
came out.
Do you remember the day?
Yeah,
Where were you?
I don't remember the exact day, but I was.
Where were you?
I might have been like 3rd or 4th grade or something, or 3rd grade, 2nd grade.
I mean, you
When-
probably remember like great events like that, right? Like sliced bread.
Well, no, but think
You know,
about this.
where
When I
were
was a
you when
kid,
Kennedy got shot, and then
I was
you
in the
know
6th
the
grade.
ballpoint
But
pen?
I was with a fountain pen. I had to use a blotter because I'm left-handed.
Oh, because you drag it all.
Yeah, I write something and then it'd be smeared all over the table. So I had to write something, blot it, write something. This is when I was a kid, right? Learning how to write.
Well, I
You got
guess
a ballpoint pen and a blotter.
the English language is discriminatory
pen,
against
fountain-
left-handed people. You can't write it,
Yeah, fountain pen.
Yeah. Or just use a
You know.
pencil.
No, I had to use a fountain. You had to write in pen. I remember I had to have a pen. And on my desk in grammar school was an inkwell. That never made a mess. And they put ink in it, and you dipped your pen in there, and you had a little thing on the side. It opened it up, made like a little. There was a little bladder inside, and you squeezed it, and and it sucked the ink into the bladder, and then you can write. That never made a mess in grammar school.
My
Anyway,
God. Did you get in trouble? Did you get like a lashing if you spilled your ink?
no, but some kids that did. I was pretty good. I was sort of.
You got hit with the stick, didn't you?
I think I whacked a couple of times in my entire life. But one time I got whacked, it wasn't even me.
Was it nuns? Did you?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I went to a Catholic grammar school.
Yeah.
And then I went to an all-boys Catholic high school.
Was there any shrew nuns that were really mean, like that were notorious?
Yeah, I had a couple of them.
stiff?
A lot of them put that little mean face on.
Yeah.
Don't have to be that way.
All right, we
Yeah,
ready for Steve?
Sister Mary, I'll kick your butt if you open your mouth. And
We're shooting the breeze too much.
I know it's too much breeze. Let's bring Steve in. He's probably I hope Steve didn't fall asleep.
No,
I know what he's doing. He's
still
watching the Pirates game.
I still see proof of life. Yeah, we had to put him on hold so we can watch the rest of the Pirates game. Steve, what's going on?
Steve. Yeah, we won 5-0, by the way.
Wow.
Yeah, I got to watch the 9th inning there while I was on hold. It was great. I appreciate it.
Wow.
How about them
We got a
Pirates?
special one for here. There we go.
How about them Pirates in the hunt? Pirate Yankee World Series.
That's right. We called that to be, beginning of the
months
season.
ago. That's right.
Yeah.
Pirate Yankee World Series. Except your guy can't pitch every game. Right?
Yeah, they're putting him on like a 5 or 6 day rotation right now. That might have to be bumped up a little bit if we make it there.
Yeah, I remember the Dodgers with Koufax. He pitched like every other day when in the World Series.
Yeah, and because of it, he only had like a 7-year career. So yeah, go ahead, do that to Paul Skeens.
Yeah, well, it's not like Tim Wakefield, is it?
You better hope that Livy Dunn never breaks up with that kid, because his confidence will get dropped, and all of a sudden he'll lose 3 ticks off his fastball, and they start getting warped.
Yeah,
just wrecked on the mound.
Yeah,
you don't recover.
Every time I look on Twitter, it's another picture of him and Livy on a boat or something somewhere. He's living a good life right now.
You'll never recover from that loss.
You know the only thing that scares me though about it, what's his name? Jacob deGrom was like that. You know, when he first got into that groove, nobody could hit him. The guy was like, he had a .47 ERA, and then all of a sudden one day, he threw a pitch and he rode off into the sunset. You know,
ugly girlfriend, no confidence.
All right, let's move along. What do you have for us today, Steve?
What are we talking about? It's been a little while.
Well, kind of something that I've been thinking about for a long time, but haven't been able to study as closely as I want. And a lot of it's based upon my methods on creating the cores. I always look at when I'm designing a core, I'm always looking at the core shape and how as the ball rolls down the lane, the PAP is migrating.
Right.
And so I calculate and study the differences of mass distribution as that ball goes down the lane. And I have theories of my own about what happens. And I am not a believer that track flare is solely determined by total diff at all.
Okay.
And so I got a couple of guys here in town that we came up with a little study. I had no idea what was going to happen. And we drilled a couple balls and I measured some axis migration. I have some horrible video footage to show, but it's footage, regardless. And I'm going to post a link to that here. I'll just go ahead and do that now. I've got the link.
There it is.
So yeah, it was just like a little unique little study that me and the guys were talking about and kind of came up with, and we're like, well, let's do it and see what happens. So we use the max bias. I have a couple driving questions there because I really want to challenge people, and I want people to challenge me a little bit. I want to know what people's thoughts are about what affects total track flare, because when I first started learning with Dave Nestor a long time ago, it was always total diff. And so my question is, does the ball affect it? Does the layout affect it? Is it core? Is it cover? And my other question is, how does the track flare in the oil and dry areas of the lane compare? Because there are going to be times that when Mo and I would measure, and Mo measured these track flares all the time for a lot of balls, and he would always tell me what the results were. Sometimes ball flare more in the oil than it does the dry, or vice versa. So what causes that? And then it looks like my PowerPoint got cut off there a little bit, but my last question there is, why do balls with 060 drill total diff flare different? Because if track flare was completely determined by total diff, then all 060 balls should flare the same amount.
It's true, right?
And they don't.
They don't, right?
So yeah, we came up with a unique little study here. So on the next slide, you'll see we're just going to do. Oh wait, I got to give some shout outs. So first of all, Pike Street lanes. Dwayne and Darren Smith run Pike Street. I told them I'd give them a shout out. Look, in 2008,
Giving back to the people again.
I know, always giving back to the people.
Even giving back.
Yeah, in 2008, I started the bowling team at Parkersburg South High School when I used to teach at that school. And Dwayne and Darren, and they let us bowl for free. They supported Parkersburg South bowling. Dwayne's son actually hangs out. He's one of my son's buddies. They went to elementary school, so I've known them a long time. And on that team, Ryan Patterson was on that team, so I got a little bit of extra information about him. And I call him Little LB because his old man is Big LB. But I used to bowl with his dad, who's in the state and Parkersburg Hall of Fame. He bowled a 290 the other night, old guy. He's still going at it. And Brian Watson, I got to give him a shout out for letting us drill our stuff there at his shop. But appreciate it, Dwayne and Darren. They kind of let me do whatever I want the other night.
I appreciate
So if we
that.
go to the next screen. So yeah, we're looking at the max bias tonight. It's a popular ball, especially LB. This is one of his favorite. The max results was one of his favorites. So the next screen has the drilled diffs that you can get off the website. I just copied and pasted. So feel free to look at that.
We're gonna charge you a convenience fee for taking that, please.
I think the
that's
numbers come from Steve, by the way.
It's
That's
a little prettier
proprietary.
off the website than it is off my files. So I picked that.
Exactly.
Well, yeah, we gotta
We're gonna
convert
make
it
pretty.
from engineer to normal
Right.
people. So we got to make it look pretty.
Yeah.
So
All right. So a little bit of bowler info. Patty, he bowled for McKendree University. Like I said, he was on my high school bowling team. We actually let him bowl as an 8th grader, I think. We let him practice with us. I actually bowled with his mom all the way up through youth leagues and whatnot. Patty is a one-handed bowler using a thumb, PAP there, 4 5/16 over, 1 3/4 inch up. LB, he actually went to Innovative Pro Shop School with Mo and trained up there. So he's been drilling balls for a little while. He's actually the guy, had him come up to you there, Phil, at that.
Yeah, I remember that. That was so funny. He sat next to me for 2 games, never said a word. And then when he was, I was getting ready to move, he introduced himself.
Yeah, his brother was bowling, so he was there watching his brother a lot. His brother bowls a lot of regionals. And,
people get starstruck by you, Phil. It's one of those things where you got to be more mindful of the general public when they're kind of bashful to say hi.
Yeah,
I was sitting next to me.
You're probably like, oh, yeah. Not saying a word. Just let him sit next to you the whole time.
People shy up, clam up around celebrities, you know.
I don't think that's the case, but okay.
I mean, it's true. Hundreds of people know who you are, Phil.
Hundreds of tens of hundreds, tens of ones know who I am.
But LB's no thumb, 2-handed bowler.
Oh.
PAP is a little different than Patty's ball. A little bit.
Yeah.
Down. Yeah.
Down. Mm-hmm.
Down. So what we did was, I knew what layout we was going to use on Patty's ball. Patty was going to put a 60 by 4 by 30, and I think that's on the next slide. Yeah. So, boy, those didn't. Yeah. Okay. The formatting changed on me a little bit. So Patty's ball is on the left, 60 by 4 by 30. And you can see his PAP 4 5/16 over and 1 3/4 up.
Okay.
And what I did was, LB doesn't use finger grips. So what I did is figure out, where can I put LB's fingers so that they have as close to the same drilled diffs as possible.
I see what you did. Right.
And I also kept the PAP in the same relative location of the ball.
I see it. Right.
So now I was a little nervous, I'll tell you, because LB's layout turned out to be 60 by 4 by -5, and that really made me uncomfortable. And I told him we was going to do it anyways. We was going to see what happens. We was nervous that the ball might flare backwards. It did not.
Okay.
So it was so it's really, I'm nitpicking, but it's really about -3, -4 degrees. So it's really close to 0, but yeah, no. So here's before we go to the next slide, what I want you to notice first is, because the balls have almost the same diffs and the PAPs are in the same relative spot, the axis migration is the same.
Okay.
Because the RG contours will be the same.
Right. All right.
So those blue dots are essentially the same location across the map of the core there.
Yes. They are really close to being exactly the same distance from the original low RG, which is the black dot at the top of the ball.
Mm-hmm. So,
Okay.
yep.
Got it.
Okay. So on the next screen, I just oriented the balls differently so that the PSA is looking directly at us. The low RG or the pin is directly to the top. The red dots beside the PSA and the low RG at the top, the red dots are the locations of those axes after drilling. And we spun these up on a determinator before we threw them, just to verify that they spun up right where I said they will. And this view right here gives us a really good view that the axis migration, all of those blue dots have the same RG value,
Okay.
which is equal to the RG of the PAP.
Rob wants to know, how close was LB's fingers to the location of Ryan's thumb location? So it looked like they're pretty close.
Yeah, it's really close. It's probably a little bit to the left, maybe slightly up a little bit.
Okay.
If you use the lines on the core as kind of a gauge.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they're just a little bit further left and a little bit further up.
Yeah.
But it looks like you took out about the same amount of mass from that spot.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
Which is why I had to. Which is why I put the fingers right there.
Yeah. Okay.
So,
The only way I could get the total diffs to be close to be the same is
right
to put the fingers down there.
Okay. So even though we drill fingers and thumb in Ryan's ball on the left and only fingers in LB's ball, the ending differentials, total diffs are the same.
They're close.
Close as possible, yes.
I had to move the fingers to try to figure out where I could get it as close as possible.
Okay.
That was probably the most time consuming part of this whole little project.
Tinkering.
Yep.
All right. Next slide.
Sure. Okay, so the blue. Okay, I'm going to point out the picture on the left, which is Ryan's ball, obviously with the thumb.
Right.
If you see it kind of have an alternating white piece of tape at the PAP, and then I use my grease pencil to make a dot at 1.5 inches, and then another piece of tape at 3. Right at the base of that thumb, right in the middle of the thumb, is 4.5 inches, and then 6 inches at the white tape, and then 7.5. So I just marked it every 1.5 inches. What you'll also notice right there are those little yellow X's. Those are just the exact value that's on my SolidWorks file that is on the last slide. The blue dots on the last slide.
Yeah.
I just copied those over just to give me an idea about where the axis migration should be. I mean, if I didn't have SolidWorks, I could use tape to figure it out, but I would have to throw the ball several times. And
absolutely. Right.
That's challenging to do, but it can be done. I mean, it's,
Yeah, I think Mo used to trace track lines with an armadillo to get the different points that he wanted. It wasn't necessarily all the points that you're doing in SolidWorks or anything like that, but mostly he was looking at, like you said before, flare in the oil and flare in the dry. So once it comes out of the oil, he'll mark that spot and, the ending spot before it hits the pin. So off your hand, end of the oil, and the dry.
Yeah. Yeah, I took my armadillo, but it's just so much easier with knowing where it was going to be.
So you call it armadillo, and in Texas,
it's armadillo.
He calls armadillo.
Armadillo.
I don't call it. They do it. It's an armadillo.
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 The armadillo.
Armadillo. So,
what is it? Armadillo?
It's an armadillo.
It's whatever you want it to be.
We have one in my yard. He's got a hole. He dug a hole. It looks like it's a condo behind one of the bushes. It's got to be 2 feet round. And, he comes out every once in a while, and my dog is got no idea what's going on.
Yeah, they got it right in the chat. Armadillo, quesadilla,
right?
all the dillas.
Oh, my God. Steve, when I first moved down here. One of the vendors took us on a fishing trip. I was at Columbia, and we went to Lake Amistad, and we were on a houseboat, and then we had guides come and get us, take us fishing. At the end of the day, we had a bunch of minnows left over that we used for bait. So I see a guy pull up in a bass boat, and I walked over and said, "Hey, we got some extra bait. You want?" He goes, "What do you got there?" So we got some minnows. I'll take them damn minnows.
Yeah.
I looked at him and said, "What the hell's a minnow?"
That's what I'd have said, menace.
It's a minnow.
Yeah.
Give me one of them minnows.
Yeah.
Robert Lawrence used to always say, "Oh man, that milk looks spolt."
Exactly. The what? The what?
What'd you say? It looks spolt.
Well,
Spoiled? You mean spoiled? Yeah, spolt.
Spolt. Spolt. Yeah, I'll take them damn minnows. A what?
oh man.
Oh, God. Armadillo.
All right. Onward.
All right, so
Actually,
the last-
I'm gonna post the Woo Box one more time here.
All
Still
right,
got 20
I got some
minutes.
time.
If I
Yeah, I got
look up
time
and
for it.
remember, I'll post it
Cool.
again. But you got to tell the top of the hour to get your entries in. We already got a lot of entries in, and hopefully we give away a grip sack today.
Okay, so before we move on, next slide, just notice the pin to spin line.
Right.
Going from the pin to the PSA. You'll notice that it's just after 3 inches. So
Okay.
3.3, something like that, 3 1/4.
All right. Noted.
Cool. Okay. Here's the drilled diffs. Undrilled was an 030-050 ball. You'll notice a little extra mass in LB's ball because it only has 2 fingers and not fingers and thumb.
Makes sense.
Yeah, but the numbers are pretty close.
Yeah. Yeah, they're within 003, which
It's not measurable. 003.
Mo would always say that's statistically the same ball.
Yep. Yeah, he's right. Was right. Yep.
I mean, you can measure it. He just did.
Yep.
It's not measurable.
Not to be a
except when
nitpicker here, but RG swing can measure that just fine.
Yep.
Yeah.
And the RG of the
Now, is that a
PAPs
measure?
are basically the same.
Yeah.
So these balls will, even though the diffs are slightly different, these balls will basically flare extremely similar.
Okay.
Which I was kind of hoping, to be honest with you, I was kind of hoping they'd be a little bit different. But what we found was that they really did. They really did roll the same. So on the next slide, just wanted to give just information about the old pattern. It's easy, as you would say in your videos.
It's easy.
It's easy. 42 foot,
That's the
12-to-1 ratio. Nice
Pattern.
wall.
Right.
Okay.
Is this where we want video?
One more slide.
One more slide, he says.
Yeah,
All right.
one more slide. So yeah, I don't know why I put the link. I'll post the link again in case someone just joining us, but in the chat, if I hit enter, I hit enter. Okay, so what I did, because it's just hard to see, I used painter's tape, and I marked every 5-foot intervals, and at every 10-foot interval, I used a piece of tape that was 15 boards, and then at every 5, all the other ones at every 5 feet was just spanning 10 boards. So that way I can kind of get an idea about at what point I'm seeing the ball, how many feet. I was trying to get a really close, accurate. On my videos, I only recorded from 20 foot to the pin, so I was actually in the gutter cap, standing, and I had different views that I tried to record from, which I need better equipment.
You just need a tripod, I think.
The end of the pattern, 42 foot, and I actually have a smaller piece of tape, which is right in the middle of the, well, not in the middle of the lane, it's kind of on the left side of the lane at the end of the last set of dartboards, which might be difficult to see. So what everyone needs to understand is I've spent, I don't know, 2-3 hours, maybe not that long, 2 hours on my phone with it on pause, and I would just scroll the ball back and forth, just watching the dots on that ball. That was like 2 or 3 slides before. I would just scroll and try to figure out and zoom in and try to figure out exactly where the PAPs locked on. And the balls flared so much and so fast that it was really difficult with your eye. Like you would see it lock on to the dot, but it would lock on for just a fraction of a second. I mean, just
right.
So when we watched the video, I shared the video and the link there. I actually have it on YouTube, but it's very grainy. It didn't turn out very well, so I put it in my Google Drive and shared it with everybody. So download it and verify I'm right, verify I'm wrong. Tell me if I'm wrong. Tell me if you agree or disagree.
All right, gonna play the video.
Go ahead.
Unmute your mic if you need to talk over it.
Yep. This is Patty's ball. He's trying to shoot 20 out to 5. I think this second shot right here, it gets a little wide, but it still comes back. So, like right there at the end of the pattern, at the end of the last dark board, you saw it lock onto that white dot. That was at 6 inches. That was 6 inches of track flare to the end of the oil. So that first painter's tape right there is 20 foot. Love my cousin Benny as well. Okay, so here's LB's ball. This is a little bit harder to see because I have too many dots. Next time I'm going to take some of the tape off of it so I can just concentrate on one at a time. But hopefully you can download that video, and because we can't do that right now live on here. We can't pause it and scroll to watch where those PAPs lock on.
Yeah.
But if you haven't done this yet, like I would highly recommend you do this at least to find your PAP, because anybody can do this to find your PAP. Just put a piece of tape about where you think it is, and if it's not there, move it, and it'll lock on as soon as you let go of that ball. Now, in this case, it was locked on, and it was almost immediately migrating. LB had a max results with a different layout. I think it was 80 by something or another, 80 by 5 1/4 by 55. And it stayed locked on to the PAP for 15 feet. It just stayed.
Really?
So
wow.
I don't know if it's because of the cover stock or if he's just got a lot of games on it. I don't know.
That's a long time for it to be locked on in a ball with that much differential.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Like his ball still rolled well and everything. It didn't migrate as fast as this max bias.
Right.
So that would be a ball that probably flares more on the dry, obviously less in the oil because it's taking longer to get started. But it seems like once it tips, it like kind of like pushing it down a hill, it starts getting going.
Yeah.
Wow.
See, okay, so now I just thought of something because those have the same cores. So
they have the same core.
Is this more cover stock related?
Well, let's talk about that. We know what was on the maximum results, and we know what's on the max bias. Max bias is HK22, which is cleaner and more down lane motion. So could that have something to do with it?
Yeah, I think so.
Right.
I mean, if it's the same core, the layout's a little bit different, but
right.
So you're saying that the strength of the cover could affect how the core flares because it's almost like putting better like racing slicks on a power dragger. You know, the car can't use its power until you get the traction. So
right.
if you have terrible tires, then the ball just kind of just stays or skids, if you will.
Well, yeah, but I mean, it's still rotating. It's not skidding, but I think the rotation is slower because of the friction, right? If it's got more friction, it's going to grab sooner, and then the core would start to rotate faster. The motion progression.
Maybe, but a ball can flare in the air. If you loft it 20 feet, the ball can flare while it's flying in the air. It doesn't need any friction except for the air.
I don't care who told you that. I ain't buying it.
We can prove it. That's it.
Well,
We
you
can
call
put a
Robert
piece of
Smith
tape
again?
on it.
You're gonna call Robert Smith? So you're talking about flare or rotation?
Flare.
Flare.
He's saying the ball is staying on its axis longer before it starts to flare. Stay down there 15 feet or so.
Right.
Yep, flare.
So I don't know that it's so much to do with friction, because I think it's whatever the core angle is at, it's got to get tipped, and then it goes into its flaring operative, if you will, and do what it's meant to do.
Right.
Because a spy flares just fine. It has a plastic cover stock on
it. All right. Well, but without friction, would the ball migrate as quick?
I don't know if it's accelerated by the cover stock or not. That's something we can probably try to test.
Yeah.
And I think the only true test would be maybe, because a determinator has friction. It's using friction to spin it. So you just figure out how long it takes to get from one point to another point.
So somebody can do this, because I don't have a determinator to do it on. If you took an incognito and a spy, would the spin time on a determinator be the same?
That's a good question.
Because one's got polyester and the other one's got resin.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think that matters.
That's what I'm asking. It doesn't matter?
The spin times on a determinator?
Right.
Yeah, no.
Okay.
Buckhush has a spy with the same layout, with the will flare a little less in incognito. Friction does drive the flare, but it's not the cause of the force. So yeah, kind of like
what he's talking about, Brian.
The good tire effect. So I believe that.
Okay.
That's why sometimes you see balls flare more on the dry, because it's got something to grip, so it's accelerating its motion, or if it's migration.
For those that don't know, Brian, he's an R&D design engineer for Brunswick.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah, he's probably about 20 feet from me right now watching.
Probably right. Come in and smack you in the side of the head if you say something wrong. Whack.
Maybe. I mean, I am protected. I'd hear him coming. So I got 3 bowling pins left of me. I can huck pretty good. I'm pretty good at throwing pins.
He had a little sneak peek of this last night. And by the way, both of these balls that we used had a spin time of about 4.5 seconds.
Okay.
Do we have another slide? I forget. Are we out? Done?
Yes, one more, I believe. Oh, yeah, because here's what I found. And this is what, like, scrolling back and forth took me a while to do this. Because I had the PAPs marked at 1.5, 3 inches, 4.5, 6, and 7.5. And I don't know about the 1.5 where that happened. But the 3-inch right before the pin to spin line, that PAP locked on at 20 feet. And then the 4.5-inch PAP, which was basically the middle finger.
Easy there. It's a family show.
On Patty's ball, the middle finger on Patty's ball was at 31 foot. It locked on right after 30 foot. And then at the end of the pattern was when that ball locked on at 6 inches. And it was about 7.5. Now, here's what I found interesting, because I had to do a double take when I did this the other night. I measured this like Mo taught me, and I measured the oil rings. I took a grease pencil and I marked the first one and the last one, and that measured 4.5 inches. And so when I looked at the 4.5-inch track flare, or that 4.5-inch PAP, I knew it wasn't at the end of the pattern.
Right.
So after that, after about 31 foot on the lane, that last 10, 11 foot, it didn't leave an oil ring. It didn't mark that oil. So Mo would have concluded that it was 4.5 inches of track flare in the oil and 3 inches in the dry. which made me kind of think about that there last night and this morning about, you know what, I mean, my opinion was I was thinking about the end of the pattern,
Right.
but when it's completely dry, but the ball is only showing it for the first 31 foot, not picking up enough oil.
I'm gonna post Woo Box one last time. You literally have 3 minutes to get in. Last chance. If you're just tuning in, get your entry in before you get shut out, and you won't have a chance to win a grip stack today.
That's
So
right.
we can't let that happen.
So, Steve, let me ask you a question. So, everybody, paying attention to the show, and trying to get some idea what they could do at home to get a look at their own equipment. Obviously, finding your PAPs the utmost important. You get that part locked up. What would you suggest them to do with tape to sort of see what their ball motion is, one ball compared to the other?
Well, if nothing else, I would mark the pin, the PSA. I would mark the pin, the spin line, and then try to use a piece of tape on the pin to spin line just to get an idea about, because that would be on that one line. It'd be easy to kind of pinpoint. It would take a few shots, but you could see the ball lock on.
But where would you put it on the pin to spin line? Where would you put it?
Wherever it crosses.
I mean, where it crosses. Now, how do you know where it crosses? Well, I mean, the best idea I would have would be look at the drill sheets and figure out a layout that's fairly close.
It's got to get an armadillo, and then you can find it out real easy. Just trace your track lines until it hits the pin to spin line and mark that spot.
Yep, could do that.
Okay, so that would be good, right? To mark your PAP.
Yep, mark the PAP.
Right, throw the ball, trace the tracks, right, and then you draw a line between the pin and the mass bias.
Yep.
Put a piece of tape on that one, right, on that line where it crosses.
I would try to find that location on the pin to spin line. That would tell you a lot. If the ball's going to have a lot of intermediate diff, that spot will be a little higher than you think. So if you use, say, a 4-inch pin,
right?
Well, hold on, I can find it. We used a 4-inch pin.
Going to the archives.
And on those two balls, it was right about 2.5 inches from the pin.
Okay.
The PAP was two and a half inches from the pin, 2.25 to 2.5.
Right.
That's right. Where the axis migrates to, because it's not a perfect circle. It goes kind of like an oval, right?
Yep. What for the layman? What would that tell them? The sooner it gets to the pin to spin line, is how much more it's flaring in the front part of the lane.
Sure. Yeah.
So if you want to tell you if a ball is rolling sooner or later, and you can't see it with your eye because sometimes you just can't pick it up, that's one way to find out, right?
True. Yeah. My brother asked me that question last night. He asked, where do I want the PAP to cross the pin to spin line at?
I asked that same question. I'm like, is it ideal to have it at the end of the pattern or wherever the end of the oil pattern ends? Because, different lengths and different parts of the lane, with the taper. But is that ideal? Or do you want that to do more work early? Do you want it to cross it in the oil to start digging in earlier?
Well, and I think a lot of people will like the max bias because it crosses the pin to spin line so much sooner than the break point. So it's going to make it a little bit more controllable, but that ball just doesn't quit. It just keeps going. It's so
I know it keeps going. Right. Yeah.
So continuous. Now, like I told my brother that if you want the most amount of change in motion, change in direction, you really want the PAP to cross the pin to spin line at the break point.
So further down the lane.
Further down the lane. Yeah.
Okay. And do you accomplish that with drill
angles.
drilling angles.
Well, yeah, though. I mean, it depends upon whatever oil lane or oil pattern is put down, but
Yeah.
you can your drilling angle. Yeah.
So if a guy has a couple of bowling balls, he goes down the lanes on a house shot that he bowls league on, and he's leaving corner pins and not striking enough. Okay, so he wants to move. He wants to see which ball is best for him. They both get to the pocket. It's a house shot. Finding the pocket's not that tough. Okay, he would want to do that, and the ball that's striking the most, he would see where the pin to spin line is, and then reverse engineer, go back and see what the drill pattern is, and see what the angles are, the core angles are, to tell him if that's the best for that house that he's bowling in.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I would say, yeah. I think there's a lot of variables to play. You know, I mean, different balls are going to have different drill diffs, so
right,
different cores, and
yeah.
Now, you know, towards the end of the night, the other night, Patty, we were Patty put a little extra hand in it.
Yep.
And that 6-inch track flare, which was at 42, moved back about 5 foot.
Oh, okay.
So, I mean, how consistent are you at?
Yeah, no, I understand.
Delivering the ball and
right.
We get a lot of those hypotheticals. Some of those hypotheticals, yes, layouts matter. We get on some of them hypotheticals, and
are you sure about that?
That makes me uncomfortable because, yeah, I mean, it's, you know, you have to be able to consistently throw the ball.
You know, it's funny because the questions I get, I mean, especially after shows, you know, emails come in and it's like, I throw it 18 miles an hour. I got blah, blah, you know, what's my best drill pattern? And, you know, it's impossible in an email to answer that. But many times people, because we're the only company that does it with the drill sheets that give you after drilling numbers, I don't think people use that tool enough. You know, if you have a ball that you love, if you look at the after drilling numbers, and we have a new ball coming out, and you look at the after drilling numbers, you might have to modify the drill pattern on the new ball to replicate the ball motion you had on your old ball. Because you can maybe get close to the same numbers after drilling. Now, you know, you prove that balls flare differently, core shape is different, has a lot of an impact on it. But, you know, people are stabbing sometimes, and they can't figure out why one ball works so good for them. They put the same drill pattern on the second ball. Well, it's what happened after drilling.
Yeah.
You know, and I wish there was a way that we could tell them.
Yeah, I put the same layout on every ball I drill for all the videos, and a lot of them roll very different from one another because of the core shapes, the ending numbers, and the cover stocks on them. So, you know, some bowling balls may roll better for me if I say went with a pin down layout on an ASIM or something like that instead of pulling the same layout on every one. But for the sake of comparison, I have to compare them straight up to one another, and that's the best way to do it.
Yeah. You know, and somebody had posted a question, you know, on our drill sheets, we say it's based on a PAP of 5 inches. So what do you recommend if somebody had a shorter pin PAP? What do they do? Do they have to adjust those numbers?
Yeah, I would increase the drilling angle a little bit to get the PAP a little bit farther because it's going to already be so closer because you have a horizontal component that's closer.
Okay.
And if the PAP is a little longer, shorten the drilling, decrease the drilling angle, and vice versa.
So if the PAP is shorter, you would increase the drill angle, right?
Yes.
And then if it's longer, you decrease the drill angle.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Based upon, you're welcome, Stuart. I saw that comment earlier, and I meant to answer and I forgot. It's all about where the PAP is in relationship to the pin to spin line.
Okay.
And I'm going to say it again. I'll say two things. The drill sheets have a ton of information on it that a lot of people glance over and don't realize what's on those drill sheets.
Okay? Yeah, they don't,
but that's okay. The second thing is not only do layouts matter, but core shapes are everything. Core shape matters.
Right.
That ball is rotating around a migrating PAP.
Yeah.
Like you change it, man, you change the layout, you're changing the way that ball is rotating around that PAP,
Right.
which means you have different gyroscopic forces happening on that ball because of the orientation of that core. And if we could go back to that slide, but people can watch it again, but and take pictures of it. But if our these max biases started with a 4-inch PAP, right?
Yeah.
At the closest, it was 2.5 inches. It was 2.35 and 2.51 inches, really close to being the same. The PAP was that close to the pin. That means that core laid down.
Yeah.
And is rotating differently than when it was at 4 inches and it wasn't down as much.
Right.
The gyroscopic forces and the way that mass is rotating around those PAPs,
Yeah.
everything. And that's a whole lot more information than I've ever told most everyone but 5-6 people.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's on the podcast for everybody to see for
free. For free.
Because we ask for nothing.
That's
that's how we do it. We give away stuff. We pay you to be here. We give you all the information, and we do a giveaway.
Right. Let me ask you a question real quick. Can you go back to that slide, the drill sheet slide, for a second?
For $5, I can.
And Roger, I'm talking about the distance from the pin to the PAP.
Which one do you want?
The slide before this one.
Yeah.
Not that one.
This one?
No. The one with the drill sheet. That one. Okay. So just Steve was saying how much information is on here. Okay. Can you take us through the performance differential, for instance?
And that's half of the drill sheet. I didn't copy the other half, which I think has even got more information, because the other half, this drill sheet, shows the axis migration.
Yes. Yeah, that's the pictures of the drill pattern and the migration, right?
But Mo is very fond of the performance differential because it takes into account both the intermediate and the total diff of the ball.
So the higher that is, the more potential that ball has.
Yes. Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
So if you have a different ball, and you look at the performance differential on that drill sheet for a different ball, you would get closer to the performance if you matched it to whatever drill pattern on this ball was. Is that a true statement?
I'd say that's somewhat true. Yeah, I'm very uncomfortable right now because every course shape produces different results.
Right. Okay.
So even if I had another ball that was an 030, 050 ball with a different course shape, the numbers would be close, but they'd be different. And I'm just
I think that's the whole point of what he's getting at is, say somebody gets a max bias and they really like the most versatile layout with 059 performance diff. And say we come out with another widget in 3 months and it's got, a total differential of, say, 045 and maybe 015. Say it's like a zigzag type ball.
Right.
Finding whatever layout brings the performance differential closest to 059 is saying, okay, well, that ball rolls really good for me. If I pick a zigzag that has close to performance differential of 059, I'm going to like that one too, or I'm pretty much going to really enjoy the way the ball rolls.
I want to disagree.
All right.
I want to say it's close, and I'm saying that because I could have. I'm going to take, for example, the most versatile 032, 050 with an 059 performance diff.
Yeah.
I could have a ball. We could have a symmetrical ball out there right now. It's got an 058 total diff and an 004 intermediate, and it would have an 059 performance diff.
Okay. So I guess that's where the question comes is like, where does that performance differential number come from? how is it calculated, or should we be looking more at the total differential of a drill ball? Because that symmetrical ball is not going to come anywhere close to 032 intermediate, correct?
Correct. It's got to be correct.
Yeah.
You can't get 004 to 032.
No.
I put a lot more value in the diff ratio.
Okay.
And that's not on this chart.
No.
Okay.
That's on the pay-per-view chart.
That's right. That's the one that's $29.95.
That's extra.
per month, yeah.
I don't think I have a sheet on my desk. I usually have one. Okay. But the diff ratio is on one of the isn't it on one of the charts? I thought I saw that somewhere.
I don't know.
I don't know.
Couldn't tell you.
Okay.
I don't know. We went to that format years ago.
But the diff ratio is simply dividing one by the other.
Yeah, intermediate divided by total.
Okay. So that's the tip right there then. If you want to try to match, take a diff ratio and see if you can get the same diff ratio in another ball. And that'll get you closer than a shot in the dark. You know.
All right.
Better than nothing.
Better than nothing.
I think it's time to break into our top 5 this week. We haven't got there yet.
That's right. We have a good top 5, by the way.
And before I do, I just want to compliment you too on wearing the same exact shirt on the show. It looks so good.
No, it's not the same. Not the same.
It's a little different.
You have
Is that slanted?
And yours the salmon one, right? The salmon colored shirt.
Yeah.
Yeah, mine's a red radical T-shirt. So Nick,
well, you guys are coordinated.
Yeah, unlike you, who just wears I don't know, whatever laundry's clean that week.
Man, my wife and daughters make fun of me all the time because I wear these shirts everywhere.
Oh yeah,
What's wrong with that?
I have like 5 or 6 of these T-shirts, and I wear them. You know, I get up in the morning, put a pair of jeans on, a T-shirt, come to work.
Yeah,
and
I'm not plugging it, but I'm not giving a plug.
Really nice material.
These shirts are really soft.
They really are. I love those shirts. I know it.
And by the way, that's a lot of big talk about laundry, since you probably don't even do your own laundry. So why don't you just zip it there, buddy?
That's right.
And enough critiquing from me. We're going to go to our top 5 of critiques about our globally rated podcast.
It was a segue.
It was a segue.
We get, just let me give you a little background on this one. Every week, you know, Nick and I get on, we talk a little bit. We don't see each other, obviously. So once a week we'll have a chat, talk on the phone a little bit. But when we get on here, we talk about current events and things that are going on. And some people take offense to that. They want us to
stick to the script.
An hour. Yeah, but think about what kind of script it has to be. If we had to spend an hour and a half on the phone and only talk about bowling, people would die. Their eyes would bleed by the end of the, you know. So you try to lighten it up a little bit, and we get a lot of comments on the format of the show and how we do it. So,
you writing a dissertation there, Steve? What are you doing?
A little bit. I'm answering a question.
You're an angry typer. Let me tell you.
I'm being loud. My bad.
I always tell people the same thing forever. If you have your own podcast, you can do whatever you want on it.
Yeah. Create your own globally rated podcast and get ranked on Wednesdays at 3, and then you can do whatever you want in your show.
That's in the top 5 in Russia. Well, go ahead.
All right. Yeah, so top 5 best critiques about our globally rated podcast. Number 5. Can you guys, you two shoot the breeze some other time? It's like, no, because sometimes Phil doesn't call me when he's going to call. Said he's going to call me. So we use this podcast as a way to catch up. So, you know, ask him, how's the thing? How's Rocco? What's going on with that? Yankees this, Dodgers that.
And then people get upset sometimes.
It's like, why are you talking about that? Stop it.
Yeah, why are you talking about that? Stop it. We're not.
Talk about bowling balls or get off the air.
Well, let's talk only about bowling. This is round. You know, so I'm sure the other guys other podcasts only talk about bowling.
No, absolutely.
I don't know.
That's why they're rated higher than us, I guess. We're never going to get there.
Talk about bowling. We're never going to get there. Maybe we'll have to reformat the show.
That's it.
Yeah, it ain't happening.
All right, number 4. Enough about baseball already. Shoot.
Well, sometimes we talk about football during football season.
Yeah, I was gonna say baseball season is only really March until October, so we
talk about basketball when the brackets are out. Hey, let me tell you what, we had a top 5 based on the college basketball mascots.
Yeah, that was actually a top 7, wasn't it?
It was top 7.
Yeah,
That's
you
right.
you had one job that day, and you're like, "Oh, I want to do extra credit."
Well,
Like you
it's
get
like I couldn't resist the flaming pickles and the one. What was that? Which was the school up in Massachusetts that had the? Nah, never mind.
Number 3, fact check,
Yeah.
please. There's no way Phil invented everything.
Well, apparently people have on here. I invented a lot more stuff today.
You did. It's
So,
kind of a running gag now. It's like no matter what it is,
right,
you invented performance differentials, obviously.
I did.
Yeah,
Whoever invented that did a good job.
yeah. Whoever did those drill sheets did a great job.
Oh, that's an inside
Science
joke.
is fun.
Yes,
And to quote our movies, politics, politics,
it's
politics, politics.
politics.
We mentioned one thing.
I know. One day we talked about one thing about Fauci, and everybody go bent in shape about.
Ah,
I saw
I
a
get to
guy in
see
the
our
car the other day, driving the other day in a car with a mask on by himself.
maybe the car smelled bad. Maybe a raccoon died in his vents.
I don't know. I tell you, I looked over and I was like,
Speaking of raccoons, you hear the new story that's out about raccoons trying to break into Cybertrucks because they've mistaken them for dumpsters. So they're trying to get in through the back tonneau cover. They're like clawing them out and like
"Is
poking,
that
like
true? You making that
like
up?"
biting. Yes, biting. No, I'm not making it up because they look like dumpsters. So they're trying to get inside them. So they're trying to like bite through all the tonneau covers. It's pretty funny, right?
And the number one critique about our globally
About our-
rated podcast is
Oh, that wheel is rigged. Everybody gets a grip sack.
you guys don't know how lucky you have it. This show's costing me a fortune.
I know.
The
It
last
literally
couple of
comes
weeks
out
we
of your
gave away
paycheck.
shoes. Yeah, shoes and balls the last couple of weeks.
Yeah, you're right.
I'm
And we're
telling
going
you,
to
I may have to
continue
go
to
back
do
to
so, and we're
one
going to
skin.
continue to do so every week.
We have any questions for Steve?
How many people's registered for the wheel?
More people than we had watching, which is kind of similar to the registered voter thing. They called that the Philly rule, the Philly 5 rule.
You see what I'm talking about? I didn't bring that up. If you have X amount of people in the country, how come more people vote than are registered? It's impossible.
They call that the Philly 5 rule. No matter how
Philly
many
5 rule.
registered voters, no matter how many registered voters that are in the pool, they always get 5% more actual turnout.
Oh my God, it's unbelievable. I will say one thing. And I'm not politically motivated by this, but it was so funny. It was one of the best statements I heard with this whole stuff that's going on the last week. It said, I think DeSantis said it from Florida. He said that the Democrats right now is the equivalent of rearranging the deck chairs on the Titanic. I thought that was pretty funny.
All right. Are we looking to pick a winner? Or we want? I mean, there's a lot of questions. I mean, you answered a lot of the questions along the way.
Yeah, let's Stevie take a few questions if he doesn't mind.
Steve kind of answered all the questions as we went, so that's why.
All right. Well, then
I tried. There was one, Coach Jay Walsh, arch hybrid PSA in the thumb. Oddly, one of my lowest flaring and hate surface. Is this unusual for strong grilled intermediate discs? Number 70 by 5 by 28.
5 by 28?
70 by 5 by 28.
That's pretty accurate.
I don't know anything about that ball.
Which one is this? Archetype hybrid?
Yep.
And he's saying it's one of the lowest flaring balls.
Hate surface.
Yeah.
Hate surface.
I mean, do you typically use 5-inch layouts? I'm guessing that's my question is, if you're no tilt, you're kind of medium rev matched. I mean, the ball should hook and flare quite a bit. Yeah, I'm wondering if that's a layout you used often, or if you're more into like the 4.5 inch pin range. I don't know. So, yeah, try more surface because that's a shiny ball.
He said it hates surface.
Huh?
He said it hates surface.
It hates surface. The ball spoke.
The ball has spoken to him.
The Ball's like, I don't like it. Don't do this to me.
Ouch.
Ow. Ow. How would you like it?
Yeah.
I don't know. What would a bowling ball sound like if you were hitting it with an abrasive and it didn't like it?
Yeah. How we get off the track? We got so far off the rails here.
That's what the point of the show is to.
You just read the top 5 critical things. It's that we never stay on track long enough.
I know. That's why I need more content for future top 5. So I need more critiques.
You need more criticism.
I gotta think that the ball would probably sound like a dying yak. Probably sound like something. Kind of something like in Star Wars. The Empire Strikes Back. What in the snow, like one of those, like choking. And that's what.
What is that? What was that thing?
I don't know what they call those.
You're taking up all the question time.
I just want to get to the giveaway. We're already at 1:20 for the show, so
all right, we'll get to the giveaway. If you have any questions, maybe Steve and I will look at them.
We got a request for Steve. I'm going with that right there.
I just saw that.
Me and Jenny was like a box of chocolates.
If I close my eyes, you sound just like him. By the way,
I used to be able to imitate him real well. If I watched the movie a couple of times,
you'll get it. You'll
get it down.
Yeah,
Jenny and me was like peas and carrots.
Yeah, me and Jenny.
Jenny.
Triple grip sack. I like that nickname.
All right. We've picked the winner, and we're just ready to announce the winner. Are we ready?
I'm going for the clock.
Yeah, go get your clock ready. We got 90 seconds. So if you're in the chat right now and you're waiting for your name, be ready to check in with me. Ready?
I'm ready.
Winner this week
is
Sean Tabor. Sean, are you here?
Clock is
running.
Come in,
Sean. The clock is running. You got 90 seconds to check in.
No,
if you want your
90
bonus
seconds
spin.
anymore. You got less than 90 seconds. You got 80.
Oh man, time is
He's
ticking.
Trouble. Maybe you get nervous.
Can't
type
Sean.
under pressure. Can't type under pressure. Sean, maybe we ran him off with Nick's imitation of the whatever that creature is dying in the snow.
They have a name for those things.
I know they do.
Wampas.
Yeah.
There we go. Wampas. There we go.
Somebody had that, right?
I'm here, and my email is great. What?
You saw that?
Yeah. Oh, he's verifying. That's right. Okay. Yeah. That's
all right. You're in. All right.
He's in. That's him.
Yep,
the email does have great in it, so that's verified. All right.
Here's a spin. You know the rules.
Wing Racer.
I'm going to give you
16.
one spin. If you like the gift, you can keep it. If not, you can move on. Spin again. If you get a grip sack and you don't want to keep the grip sack, although if you did keep it, you would be like the cult hero going forward. You get another spin. You get a second grip sack, you get one more spin. After that,
as always, I'm hoping that happens. I'm dying to see that happen. I really want to see triple grips.
Triple grip sack day.
I might even give you a bowling ball for that.
If that's the case, you got to change your email to
triplegripsack.com. Triple grip sack 16. There we go. He wants a Rattler new, so he wants to get a ball. I don't know. Right. Come on, grip sack, everybody.
We want grip sack today.
Grip sack, hell yeah.
Cold hero, grip sack.
All right,
everybody
best of luck.
The grip sack.
Grip sack, grip sack, grip sack.
Here we go. We get the grip sack.
3-ball Arsenal, 3-ball.
Oh,
triple
roller. Oh my God, I'm going broke here. You guys are killing me.
Triple roller. I haven't landed on that in a long time.
Go for the grip sack.
What's he going to do? What's he going to do? Is he going to throw back because he really wants a ball? Is he going to take the triple roller? Man,
I would think that's a difficult decision.
Man, that is, right? I don't know.
What's it going to be?
I already got a bag. I don't know. A triple roller.
Tempting, but my roller is good, so spin again.
No way!
That's what he says.
We're going cult hero here.
Oh man, he's trying to take over the shoe story.
Oh my God.
He's saying it's good. So mind you, you might get a grip sack here. All right, here we go, legend.
Triple roller.
Come on, 3-ball Arsenal. Just give him the 3-baller. I gave him a big spin there. Oh my God, what's it gonna land on?
I have a headache.
Come on, big.
Come on. Oh!
Grip sack.
How is that possible?
Oh,
we got to rewrite the script.
Sean, he could use a grip sack. I love it.
Oh,
Another
That's great.
story we will tell for weeks and weeks to come.
what do you figure that is? A $230 swing?
I don't know what that is, but hey, he was set on wanting a Rattler new, and now he's gonna get a grip sack.
He
So
could have took the bag, went to the shop, and traded for a Rattler new and a grip sack.
Hey, that's why it's called Vegas.
Sean. Wow. I
I
got to
love
rewrite the script going forward.
I think it's great.
I agree.
Sean,
All right.
not only is this entertaining for everybody in the world that's watching, but
Yes,
it's
it
also
is.
entertaining for us as well.
Yes. Yes, it is. And we thank Steve for being on the show.
Yeah, thanks for having me again.
And we'll see you guys. Oh, what are we doing about next week? I got a lot of Tuesdays show up.
I think we'll shoot for Tuesday. I don't think I can
All right,
replace
we'll do
Phil
it next
just
week.
yet.
We'll do Tuesday next week. Steve, are you available right after the show if I give you a call?
Yeah.
Okay, good. I'm going to do
Hey,
that.
can you guys shoot the breeze another time after the show?
We will. All right. We're out of here.
All right. Take care, everyone.
Thanks,
See you
guys.
on Tuesday next week at 3
Tuesday
p.m.
next week. And maybe we'll move up a slot or two after Tuesday. Might be a better time slot for us.
We will gladly do the shoot Tuesday for a grip sack today.
Grip sack today. Apparently, Sean, you're my
He's
new
gonna
idol.
have very dry
Oh, my
hands in
God.
the near future.
You know
All
what?
right, y'all.
Send Sean 2 grip sacks.
2 grip sacks, 1 for each
Yeah.
hand.
Yeah, 1 for each hand after that.
All right. The man has spoken. We're sending you 2 grip sacks.
All right. We'll see you guys.